Hello, this is Pastor Roland, checking in to see how you're doing. Hope you're doing better. Today, I want to talk about prayer. As you know, as you probably know, if you visited my website, I take prayer requests. I love prayer requests. I particularly like prayer requests from people who are having hard times. Hard times. Um, Hard times keep coming, don't they? Remember the Depression? There was a man named Studs Terkel. I think he was from Chicago, a writer, radio personality. He wrote a book called Hard Times. What he did, he actually went out and interviewed people, and he just asked them, what was your experience with the Great Depression? And then they talked, and he simply recorded what they said. And each chapter is a different person. It's very interesting because it's not him; it's what the person says. Hard times. Okay. So I understand. When I was a little boy, we had hard times. Very hard times. Well, not very hard times, but hard times. Of course, I didn't realize it because I was a kid. There wasn't enough money. It didn't really bother me, but I heard my parents talking. And I know that we were poor. We didn't have a lot. I know that. Okay. So people write and they say, I lost my job. Um, my car broke down. Things like that. I understand it. So those prayer requests I really like. Now, more about prayer. Prayer is, you know what prayer is? It's an attitude. It's a mindset. Some people pray all the time. They don't even realize it. Paul said to pray unceasingly. And what he meant was that you have an attitude of you always kind of know God is there, and you want to do the right thing, and you're always searching your heart to see what the right thing is. And sometimes you don't know, so you wait, and you call upon God. You wait upon God. That's called faith, incidentally. There's faith in the midst of doubt. See, doubt thoughts will always be coming. In fact, guess who's in charge of doubt thoughts? The bad guy, the guy with the horns. Okay? But the doubt thoughts are always there, making you doubt the wisdom of doing the right thing and tempting you to fall into worry. Can you see how worry is not faith? It's the opposite of faith. So that doesn't mean that we don't have to think about, well, what can we do? But what it means is you always are searching, always checking with your conscience. If there's a situation where I might do something, I check with my conscience. Okay, to see if it restrains me. And then if I don't know, sometimes I don't know what to do. See, not knowing is very good. It's good not to know, because basically we don't know anyway. Look, when things happen, when big things happen, you have a person who in your family in the hospital, or just big things happen, okay? Well, or there's a moment with your child. Some issue came up, and there's one of those very delicate moments with your child or with your partner. All the books in the world can't tell you what to say in that moment. The right thing must come from intuition. And so it's wonderful to not know. See, a lot of times I don't know, and then all of a sudden I do know. Why? Because I wait. And then through my intuition, I just wordlessly see. Or I just wordlessly know. And then I just move without even giving it any thought in that direction, and it's right. Okay. So when I put the microphone on, I don't know what I'm going to say. It always comes out different. Well, I don't plan what I'm going to say, but sometimes I'm surprised at how it comes out. Okay? Because it comes from I don't reach into my mind to try to plan what I'm going to say. I don't have a script. I just talk. Something good comes out. So what you need to do is to find that mindset, the prayer mindset, where um, you're always a little bit closer to God and not lost in your thinking and your imagination, which is tricky and which lies to you. Okay? Now your thoughts will still be there, looming up. What if this? What if that? How about this? How about that? This and that and this and that, raising all kinds of issues. So you need to stand back from those. So if you stand back from those, there they are, but you stand back from them and don't get lost in them. See, the thoughts are floating by like a river flowing by. You can be on the bank of the river, watching the river flow by. But if you jump into the river and go floating toward the rapids, you see what I mean? You can get pulled into the rapids. So you sit on the bank, watch the river flow by. Okay? That's what you need to learn how to do. So you're no longer lost in thinking. You're the observer of thinking. That's what you need. That's what my meditation helps you to do. It's just a little technique. It's so simple. Basically, you look at the inside of your eyelid. You close your eyes. You look at the inside of your eyelids, and you see little patterns of light. You see pixels of light. Okay, or moving light. You see that and when you're watching those, you're observing those. You're watching them, watching the inside of your eyelids. You're not lost in thought. Then later, thoughts will rise up. Okay, then you can observe the inside of your eyelids again, you see. And when you learn that trick, I'll call it a trick, it's not really a trick, but when you learn that little technique, see, technique is too big of a word, so I almost want to call it a little trick. Then you can go through life and without being lost in your thinking. And when you get lost in thinking, then you'll notice it and snap out. See? Then you'll get lost in thinking again. You notice it and snap out. Get lost in thinking, notice it and snap out. You just keep snapping out. When you snap out, you're no longer subject to the thoughts. You're no longer ruled by what can come out of your mind, all those doubts and worries and fears. And what do they say? That 99% of the things people worry about never happen anyway. Okay? So worry's not going to do you any good. But if you get close to your intuition, then you might realize a solution. See, when you're sucked down into thinking and worried, you're part of the problem. When you stand back, or you're no longer lost in thinking, now a solution might come through your intuition. Okay? All right. So you should try the meditation. Could do you a world of good. My name is Pastor Roland.